Hi there, you're very welcome to our Student Spotlight, and today we're speaking to Rebecca Power, who is a third year student of Law and Business. You're very welcome, Rebecca.
Thanks for having me today.
Rebecca, where are you today? Where are you working from home today?
I'm in my bedroom. I'm up in Lucan, so I'm not too far from Maynooth.
Where are you from originally?
I'm from Swords, so I moved over to Lucan to start college just because the commute from Swords would have been 2 buses, and getting out of bed in the morning isn't my strong point. So I decided to move over to Lucan to family, and I just get the bus up to college then every morning.
Okay, so you're in a dig situation then in
Exactly,
Lucan.
yeah.
Great. So how are you finding are you finished your first semester exams now, or where are you at with
Yeah,
that?
all done now. Some of them were exams and some were changed over to continuous assessments. So I had a good mix of things to do, lots of deadlines, and just glad to have them all over and done with now. Have a nice little few days off now before semester 2 starts.
So you're third year of the BCL, so that is the Bachelor of Civil Law, which some students will be familiar with, maybe some won't. Could you give us a little overview of what exactly is the BCL, say, as opposed to taking the LLB degree, which is the pure law degree?
Yeah, so the BCL is a 3-year long degree, whereas the LLB is a 4-year long degree. So they're both law degrees, whereas with the BCL you get to do it with another module. So you can either do, like I'm doing business, but you can do it with, say, accounting, or if you want to do it with a language, you can do that as well. Whereas with the law degree, it's just pure law the whole way through. With the BCL though, you still get the accreditations that you need. If you want to go on and be a barrister, you want to do your solicitor exams. So it's beneficial in that way that you do get to take up 2 modules as opposed to 1. Because if you get to the end of your course and you realise that, well, I don't actually want to go down the law route, you still have that other option there in the back. So I think it's great that you have that.
It's kind of a contingency then in some respects, but also you get to study 2 different subject areas. And
yeah.
So did you come in straight away into the BCL degree, or did you come in through the arts degree? And then
I came in through the arts degree, so I wasn't actually 100% sure what I wanted to do when I was finishing up school. So I said to myself, I was kind of stuck between law and I was stuck between secondary school teaching. So I said, look, I'll put down the arts degree, and that way I can figure out what I like and what I want to do. So in first year when I came in, I chose 3 subjects, whereas I know you can choose up to 4, but I chose 3. So I did law, business and economics, and I really enjoyed the law, so I ended up picking up the two modules of law, and then I did singles in business and economics. And so I really enjoyed business and law, so I decided, look, I think my route then would be to go BCL Law and Business as opposed to the LLB of pure law.
Okay, and so I mean you could stay in the arts degree and do a BA in those 2 subjects, but the advice is that you move in second year into the BCL degree. And why would you move into the BCL degree and not stay in the arts degree with those 2 subjects?
For me personally, it was because I'm interested in going on to the King's Inn to become a barrister, whereas once I move into the BCL degree and I complete the required modules, it allows me to do that. And I think it's great that you can actually move courses once you come into college, because when I was coming in, I was so unsure. I thought maybe, oh, only the top students were going to get to move into the other courses and things like that, but everyone can do it once you pass your exams. So I think it's just a great opportunity to be able to do that.
Yeah, it is. That's the great thing about arts, isn't that flexibility that it provides you with, and like there's 34 subjects you can choose from. So, you might decide, I want to study law and business, but actually end up loving something else entirely. So because there's 4 weeks at the start of the year in first year, did you try out other subjects, or did you?
I did, yeah, I did. I thought I might have liked criminology, because I knew a lot of people doing it, and I had done a little bit of research on it, and I thought, oh, that might be good to do. But I think I went to 3 lectures, and I just said, oh, I don't think this is going to be for me. So I think that was great that I was able to go and sample something out before I decided to do that, because I was also thinking of the law and criminology degree that Maynooth offers. But I'm delighted that you can go and you can try out all these different subjects for the first 4 weeks before you have to make your decision on what you want to do with your course. So I definitely recommend to everyone that I meet that they go and they sample as many subjects as they can before making their final decision.
So what were you studying in secondary school? What were your leaving cert subjects?
So I did the Irish, English, maths, French, biology, chemistry, business and ag science.
Okay, right. That sounds like maybe one extra than
Yeah, I
you
took
might.
up ag science as an extra.
Okay, great. I was expecting you to say lots of business subject. Well, I think it's business and maybe economics and things, but so you weren't. I mean, you did business in school,
Yeah,
and
business was my favorite subject in school. My school didn't do economics, but I
okay,
always kind of liked the idea of economics. So I said, look, I'll give it a shot.
well, and given that you're from Swords, and as you say, it would have been a 2-bus journey if you were going to commute. How is it that there's lots of other colleges around in maybe closer to home that you might have decided? So, did you go to open days in other colleges, or did you kind of want to come to Maynooth and that was it?
No, I went to lots of open days. I went to quite a few, but when I went to the Maynooth open day, as soon as I got there, I was with my mom and I said, look, mom, this is exactly where I'm going. Just the environment and like the feeling that I got when I got on campus, it was just, I knew that was where I wanted to go. And then I actually went home and I rejigged my whole CAO list to mostly in Maynooth places. I think I only had one that wasn't in Maynooth, but that was down in Cork or something, I think. But if I was to do the CAO again, I always say to everyone that I would only put down Maynooth just because I absolutely love it.
Could you explain, is there any way, could you describe what it is that sort of stood out to you about the environment or the atmosphere?
Everyone was just so friendly when I got there. All the student ambassadors that I met during the open day were so talkative and they had so much information to offer. And then even when I did come over for first year, I was the only person from my school that came over. So I kind of was going in knowing no one or anything like that, whereas lots of people would already know a few people on the campus. So I found that so many people were in the same situation and everyone was just there to make friends. And it's not like secondary school where you have your little groups and your little cliques. Everyone talks to everyone and everyone is their self in college. So I just thought it was great. And between the campus and it being in the town of Maynooth, it's great. So you have all your connections if you have to commute. And then all the facilities that the campus has as well with the gym and the SU and just everything. I just love it.
You remember your first day then? So when you arrived into your first lecture, what was the subject? Do you remember?
It was a module of economics.
Okay, so how many were in the lecture theatre?
I was in like one of the biggest lecture theatres in the John Hume building. So I think there was over 300 people, the lecturer said, in the class. And just sitting there, I was sitting on my own. I was so daunting just being there with so many different people coming from obviously the class sizes of about 30 students.
Yeah.
But the few people sitting beside me, I just started chatting to them and they were the same. They didn't really know anyone either. And I'm still friends with them people to this day.
Good, that's brilliant. So I remember I actually chatted to you a couple of years ago, back when you were in first year, and you were very unusual in that your interest was in skiing and you're really at a high level in that. Can you tell us a bit about that interest?
Yeah, so I'm actually a ski instructor and I carried through my interest in college. So Maynooth has a snow sports club. So as soon as I heard about that, I dove into the opportunities that they had. So they did different trainings and they had committee members and things like that. So every year they plan a trip. So I decided, look, I definitely want to be on that committee and I want to try and plan that trip. So I went on the trip in first year and then second year came around and I said, look, I'm going to put myself forward for a committee place. And I managed to secure myself one. So in second year, I was the vice captain, and this year I'm actually the captain of the club. So with that, I was able to organise the trip and run the trip, and we had a very successful one, and everyone had a great time. So just love doing things like that.
Where did you go?
We went to Les Deux Alpes in France.
So is that a well-recognised, well-considered kind of ski location, or yeah?
Yeah, it was great.
And so when did you join that club straight away then when you started in the university, or did you, there's a fairs day, isn't there, in September?
There
when
is,
all the
yeah.
clubs
So
go together?
they have fairs day. I think it was kind of like the first or second week that we started college. And so they had all the clubs and societies up in the sports hall and you could walk around all the different stands. So you'd have a few different committee members from each club or society at each stand, just giving out some information and things like that. And you could also join the clubs and societies there and then on the day. So I went around and I joined a few different clubs and societies that I thought would be interesting for me. And I thought that it would also be a great way to make some friends because obviously I didn't really know many people in Maynooth because I was the only person from my school. So I've actually made so many friends in clubs and societies in Maynooth. So I always recommend to people to join them, no matter where you go to college, that you will meet friends that will last a lifetime in them.
Excellent. And so now you find yourself at home, and obviously we're all kind of working from home at the moment. You were going to go in a work placement, I think. So in your degree, you could have that opportunity to go in a work placement. So what happened with that?
So just with COVID and working from home and everything, I thought that it would be more beneficial for me to use that extra year that I was going to spend working in doing a master's. So I'm now thinking about applying for a master's for next year. At the moment, I'm looking at maybe the international business law one, but I'm not 100% set on that yet. So I still have my options open, but I'm definitely looking at doing a master's at the minute.
So when you were kind of considering going on that work placement, what companies were you thinking of, or did you make any applications before you decided not to do it?
Yeah, so I made a few applications. So Martina helped us all by providing us with different companies and opportunities that they were all offering. So I applied for a few and I got some interviews, and I actually got offered one of them, but I decided to turn it down, just and kind of looking at going for the master's now, so spending the extra year that I would have been working in progressing my studies and trying to get the higher degree.
So what's the ultimate plan then?
At the moment, I'm thinking of going to the King's Inn and becoming a barrister. So that will be after I do the master's, hopefully. And that will be another year then of studying, but that will be down in the King's Inn in town. So
what area of law interests you then?
At the moment, my favourite two modules would be company law and family law. They were the two that really stood out to me. So I did family law this year and I did company law last year. And then I have another module that's kind of related to family law. It's child law, and that'll be next semester. So I'm really looking forward to studying that.
Okay, well, the company law, that doesn't surprise me, all right, given your business interests.
Yeah, really
is there any project or anything that you did that has really stood out to you over the years that you've been in the university? Any assignment or any kind of area that you've really enjoyed?
Yeah, so back in first year I did contract law, and we had to draw up a contract for a tenant to live in a house. And I just remember, because it was so different, obviously in school we'd never done anything like that. So our lecturer randomly assigned us with another person, which was great in first year because it meant you had another friend. And we had to literally sit down and draw up a contract from nothing. And I just found it was really interesting because you were able to look up different things and find out what people actually do sign when they're renting a house and things like that. So I just found that was really interesting.
Yeah. So is there any piece of advice that you have then for somebody who's considering your degree or considering Maynooth as well?
Yeah, so I'm always saying to everyone, keep your options open. If you're putting down a course, always think of having a backup as well. So maybe the arts degree would be your backup if you wanted to do, say, the BCL Law and Business. Because having a backup there at the end of the day will save you if something happens on the day of an exam, or if you're not sure what you want to do. The arts degree is a great course to have. Just with the range of subjects, there's 34 options, and you have your 4 weeks at the start of semester one to sample them all out. So I just think that's a great opportunity. And I always say, just keep your mind open to things and don't be dead set when you're coming into college, because it's just a completely different experience.
Is it? Yeah. Has it surprised you, do you think, compared to what you were expecting it to be? Have there been surprises?
Yeah, it was very different compared to what I thought. Obviously, coming from school, you're used to that environment of seeing the same few hundred people every day when you're walking around the halls. But obviously, Maynooth, I think there's over 15,000 students now, and there's just so many different places. So it's great. I absolutely love it.
That's brilliant. Thanks very much, Rebecca. It's been a real pleasure to talk to you today.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Thanks.